Well, time to get back into those Jurassic Park tour jeeps, because this ride isn't going to be ending anytime soon. That's right, folks. The horrors of Jurassic Park that the movies unfortunately haven't been able to provide for quite some time are once again being brought to us in the form of internet horror. Honestly, just give one of these guys the key to the studio, and I'm sure we would get something to die for. The journey through Jurassic Park horrors has definitely been a long one, and I for one am happy to see that the medium has continued on for this long. Whether it be original stories involving dinosaurs like Prehistoric Emergence, or other works that take place in the Jurassic Park universe. If the movies aren't going to give us the scares, at least the work of the fans will. Today we will be going through a couple new horror shorts that take place in the Jurassic Park world, some even involving the brand new dinosaur that Rebirth introduced, the D-Rex. Now, Jurassic World Rebirth wasn't very good in my opinion. I thought the characters were pretty dumb, and overall I found it to be quite boring. Perhaps I need to rewatch the film to fully decide whether or not I dislike it as much as I do now. But there are some good things that came from the movie, and one of those was the D-Rex. Honestly, whenever that monstrosity was shown on screen, it felt like an entirely different movie. But enough talking about Rebirth. We are here to witness the pure terror that is Jurassic Park, the way it was meant to be seen. As always, be sure to check out the original videos as each creator has plenty of other works across their channels that are worth checking out. But without further ado, let's equip ourselves with our D-Rex repellent, and head into the 4+ themed tour jeep back into Jurassic Park horrors. But before I let you get too far, just wanted to say if you're new here and enjoy what you're watching, be sure to hit all those neat buttons down below as it really helps support the channel. I'll also have linked in the description below our socials and the 4-player gaming channel where we dive into the terrifying world of horror video games. But anyways, now you can pass through. The Shed Incident. Our footage begins, and we can see a bunch of armed Jurassic Park employees directing a forklift over to them. This lift has quite the large crate that it is carrying. This whole scene looks awfully familiar to the opening of the first Jurassic Park, and we all know how that situation ended. The crate is slowly lowered onto the track, and the push-in team is sent in. This whole scene is playing out just like the first movie, and it's really cool to get this alternate angle. The camera then cuts ahead, and we see how this whole operation went downhill. The camera cuts out, and we are brought to a different area of the park, following someone exiting this building that looks awfully similar to the main one we see in the movies. As we are walking down the path, we end up hearing the loud roar of the T-Rex in the distance. I'd probably start moving a bit faster, buddy. Our character ends up coming across a directional sign, letting us know the velociraptors are to the left, which is where we begin to go for some reason. You'd think that'd be a deterrent. Surely enough, we find ourselves at the velociraptor paddock, and we can tell based on the horrific noises we are hearing from inside. Someone ends up coming up from behind us asking for help, which startles our character. Apparently, he was a part of a transport that was heading to the docks. However, a storm swooped in and knocked over a tree that blocked the road. Unfortunately, he was the only one out of his group to make it out alive. He says that there was something out there with them. Whatever it was managed to get out after the fences had lost power. Our cameraman tells him that the safest place on the island is the emergency bunker, but the power is still not back yet, so he deems it best for the two of them to stick together. Apparently, we were on our way to the maintenance shed, but the worker cuts us off in a panic once he processes the information of the power being out still. And I don't blame him. That means all the fences are down, even the raptor ones. You know, the one that's right behind us. We turn around and can hear the raptors going a bit crazy, and based on what we see next, I think it's time to start running. Our two characters begin to haul ass in the other direction. They have a bit of a head start, but they aren't going to be able to outrun the raptors for very long. Thankfully, the two are able to make it to the maintenance shed, except the door is currently stuck closed. Our worker buddy tries to take a crack at it, but the rustling in the nearby bushes is starting to make me nervous. At last, the door gets opened, and the two head inside. Now that tensions have died down a bit, the two are able to introduce themselves to each other. As it turns out, the cameraman we have been following is none other than Arnold. Sam Jackson's character in the movie. Nothing bad happens to him during this part of the movie. Our other character with us is named Sam, and the two now must stick together and hopefully get the power up and running. And then we can put the dinosaurs back in their cages, and all will be nice and dandy. Our characters continue to make their way through this maze of a maintenance shed, and Sam asks us how this all even happened, and why he has a camera on him. Ray explains that it was all the lead programmer's fault after purposefully shutting down the security systems and then vanishing. Stupid Nedry. When it comes to the camera, he is filming so that they can't cover up this incident, and hopefully prevent another one from happening again. Since Ray hasn't been down in the shed for a while, he ends up getting himself turned around. I know I said it earlier, but it's still neat that we are continuing to get this alternate perspective of events that took place during the first movie. This all is taking place while Ray went off screen to look for the breakers to try and turn the power back on. In the movie, we don't get to see his adventure. Until now, that is. Ray begins to question just how smart the velociraptors actually are, curious on if they'd be able to open the door to get into the shed, to which Sam shuts the idea down, not believing they would be able to do that. But what we see next, unfortunately, gives them their answer.
We need to keep...
Ray tries to chase after Sam and the raptor, following the disturbing cries for help and the trail of blood. However, during our hunt, another raptor decides to show itself. We are able to get ahead of it in time to shut the gate, but with the raptor's superb strength, it's able to just bust through the fencing. Ray continues to run around, until Sam's voice can very eerily be heard calling out for help. Ray tries to follow his voice, but Sam does not sound like he's doing good at all.
I'm not leaving you behind. Where are you?
We end up turning the corner and can see Sam. And boy, if this isn't one of the most haunting scenes in a dinosaur horror I've seen in a while. Ray manages to run off and attempts to hide, but looks like one of the raptors got a little too close for comfort and he begins to run off. And the way this tape ends is certainly something I'm sure we all saw coming. This found footage tape was really cool. Being able to see how Ray met his demise was a delight to see, even if it was still as tragic as ever. I truly think the scene with Sam and the raptor is something that is going to sit with me for a while. The fact that the raptors were smart enough to keep Sam alive, using him as bait to lure in Ray, is super frightening. Hearing Sam call out that he can't see anything, that it's too dark, and that his head is hurting, only for it to be revealed that the raptor was holding him up with his head in its mouth, is horrifying to think about. Huge props to this creator for continuing to make fantastic pieces of Jurassic Park media. They are even in the process of creating their own video game all about trying to survive dinosaur horrors, so I highly recommend checking out their videos about that and ways you can support its creation. The Lab Incident. Made by the same creator of the last tape, we open up wasting no time in getting into the action. We watch the all too familiar scene, like from the one in Rebirth, where one of the scientists is essentially sacrificed for the greater good. He gets picked up, flipped around, and put in the D-Rex's mouth for lunch. Our cameraman runs up to DeSantos and disables the lockdown for the door. He believes there could still be more people in there. He tries to get DeSantos to help, but she is too in shock to really do anything. We start to run off and get a quick glimpse at one of the velociraptors that looks to be locked up in some chamber, having some sorts of tests being run on it. On closer look, it appears like it has two heads. Why do these scientists think it's a good idea to somehow make these dinosaurs even worse than they already are? We end up running up and towards the computer system, but before we know it, we hear a loud crash, and DeSantos is nowhere to be found. We jump over the railing, and lo and behold, we see that the two-headed velociraptor has broken free. We run over to the door holding the D-Rex and try to open it, but our velociraptor monstrosity has come up from behind. Thankfully, this raptor is very slow, and we are able to open the door, run in, and shut it before the raptors can get to us. But now you're just locked in with another dinosaur, and it's here for you. Its hand comes out from the red mist, and we try to bang on the door to call out for help, but it's just us, unfortunately. We turn back around, and the D-Rex is right in our face. In an unexpected turn of events, the D-Rex smashes the glass to the door, and we are able to make it through right before the D-Rex slams his big ol' head through the door. We go to run off, but when we turn around, the D-Rex is now gone. But not very long, however. We look into the D-Rex's beautiful eyes, and are inevitably eaten by the dinosaur before our tape ends. I am really enjoying these shorts that are acting as extended scenes from the movies. Like I said in the intro, the D-Rex was honestly the best and scariest part of Rebirth, and this entry is continuing to prove that. I do question our main character's decision-making skills, however. I get that he was trying to save the other scientists inside the lab, but what could you have done considering the D-Rex has likely already wreaked enough havoc and killed everyone? That's if there were more people in there. For all we know, the poor bastard who got carried away in the beginning was the only one who got left behind. Also, the choice to go back into the containment area and lock yourself in was also quite the silly move. I get you're trying to get away from the two-headed velociraptor, but now you have just trapped yourself with a much bigger and more menacing creature. But other than those odd choices made by the characters, this short was still a blast as it showed off why the D-Rex was the best part of Rebirth. And this isn't the last we get to see of him either, as he is quickly going to be making a return. D-Rex escapes. Our tape opens up, and we find ourselves in the ventilation shaft above the same area our opening of Rebirth takes place in. We can hear over the intercom the automated voice announcing the containment breach, aka the Snickers wrapper that caused all this chaos. We end up finding a vent and kicking it off, to which we then drop down and are inside the lab. We look around and can once again see the chambers holding the freaky velociraptors. We begin to head to one of the closed doors. It seems like we may be trapped here. We try to input the code, but the whole sector is locked down, to which we are then met with our famous D-Rex, the frightening silhouette behind the glass. We look up and can see one of the security cameras looks to still be active, and we yell out that this company won't be getting away with it this time. Are we some type of whistleblower, sneaking around through the lab to try and gather evidence of InGen's wrongdoings? We zoom in on the breaker box and begin to walk over to it. We open it and start to flip some switches and are able to clear the lockdown, but the doorway out isn't able to open all the way, and unfortunately, trying to open the exit door also opens the containment door. Thankfully, we are able to flip the switch to close up the containment door, but a familiar fellow has some other ideas. We run over to the exit, but we aren't able to fit through the small crack, and now the D-Rex knows where we are, and is heading straight for us. We are able to force the door open, and in a very unlucky scene, we end up getting grabbed and are being pulled back in. However, miraculously, the door goes to shut and makes the D-Rex unhand us, allowing us to run off and escape, to which the tape ends. Once again, another very frightening look at the D-Rex. If I had to guess, this probably took place after everyone evacuated the lab at the beginning of Rebirth, and unlike the last tape, it wasn't able to escape right after the incident. It's cool to see these different interpretations of the same scenes and settings, and it's also nice to see our main character survive for once. It's definitely a rare sight to see at this point. But we have one last Jurassic Park tape to end off the night, taking us back to face my worst enemy. T-Rex breach, found footage. Our tape opens up with a statement from InGen, letting us know that the following footage was from a park ranger on a storm check, and that this footage is confidential and not to be released to the public. Too late, I guess. After that's over, we are met with the nightmare scenario our character is stuck in. Apparently, his Jeep broke down right in front of the T-Rex paddock. He has called up control and is requesting someone go out and pick him up. Luckily, they are quick to answer, but since the roads are flooded, they have to send in a helicopter to grab him. It's now just a waiting game until the helicopter arrives. We end up hearing a flickering noise, and sure enough, once we look up, we can see that the fence lights have shut off, and the T-Rex has wasted no time.
Range 1. Oh, you got it shitting me.
My reaction exactly, except with a bit more running and shitting. We are told over the radio exactly what we can see right in front of us. We are told to stay calm and to move slowly. We quickly make our way down and out of the car, but the T-Rex quickly approaches and tries to lift up the car. Its head then peeks down before using its super strength to launch the car off of us. And now, it looks like it's all over. But the helicopter comes in and shines its heavenly light. And somehow, that makes the T-Rex decide it's time to fuck off. Good. Well shit. Looks like two characters in this endeavor managed to make it out alive. I guess we didn't necessarily see our last guy get aboard the helicopter, so I suppose it's possible the T-Rex just turned around and chomped him up before the helicopter could land. But it's nicer to imagine that he made it out safe and sound. I would be handing in my resignation after that. I am so happy to see that Jurassic Park horror animations are still alive and well, and talented folks are still out there making them. Each entry we covered today managed to excel in terms of animation and quality. I really liked the works from Cranican, God, I hope I said that right, and how they were able to take scenes from the Jurassic films and expand upon them, giving us different POVs, and in some cases even showing us moments that were never seen before. Getting to follow Ray Arnold in his attempts to turn the power back on was certainly a delight, and arguably had the most haunting moment out of all the tapes we covered. It was also nice to see the best part of Rebirth, the D-Rex, get to shine as well. It would be really cool if we got more tapes showing off that two-headed raptor. It's worse enough when they only have one head. And there was no way we would have a Jurassic Park video without showing off tapes that had the menacing T-Rex in action. In any scenario, that bastard is as haunting as ever, especially in the last tape where we can hardly see it as it just sits in the darkness getting ready to strike. If you guys haven't already, I can highly recommend you check out all the channels we have covered today, as they all have other Jurassic Park works that are definitely worth checking out for yourself. Hopefully someone at Universal checks them out and decides it's time to make a good film. But who am I kidding? I'm just waiting to hear about the next Jurassic Park movie and how it's going to be bringing back Chris Pratt. Maybe someday I will decide to rewatch Rebirth and see if I have been treating it too harshly. Who knows? But that'll probably be about it for this video. As always, be sure to keep on leaving me recommendations down below, whether it be in the YouTube comments or the community Discord, where we are definitely not experimenting on dinosaurs and creating two-headed raptors. But if you'll excuse me, I gotta go pray that all this dinosaur horror won't ruin my sleep for the next week.